What's up, everybody? CHM Carnivores here, and forgive me, my voice is kind of going in and out, but I just felt so compelled to make this video that I'm going to try to suffer through it. I created this channel because I wanted it to be a safe place for people to come, whether you are brand new to the hobby or whether or not you've been doing it for a while. I wanted a safe place where people could come and feel welcomed and part of a community, and where you could get the help that you needed with your carnivorous plants. If you're anything like me, when you first started out, you had a lot of trouble finding resources out there and a lot of expertise. And I struggled with that for quite a while, and there still is a lot to be said about the amount of information that is out there about carnivorous plants, and I'm trying to do my small part in helping that out. The second thing that I wanted to do was provide a channel that allowed the average person like myself to see how you could grow a collection of beautiful carnivorous plants without all that high-tech, very expensive equipment. Now, this is not knocking any other people out there, but I was watching all these channels and they had all this high-tech, very expensive stuff, and they were growing certainly beautiful, beautiful plants, and I was always thinking, man, that is just so far out of reach. But what I wanted to do in this channel was to show that you could have those same beautiful plants, and you could do so at a very reasonable price. Which brings me to the next point, is I wanted to show how not every grower has successes. Everybody always talks about the wins and rarely talks about the losses. And so what I want to do in this channel is be very real, and I want to show you what the losses look like, what the wins look like, and have you go along this journey with me. Now, in this video, I want to talk about a little off thing that I've created through Facebook that is going to align with this channel. Let's face it, not every carnivorous plant group is friendly and welcoming. I struggled a lot when I first started here, when I was asking what I thought were stupid questions, and people let me know very quickly that they thought they were stupid questions as well. There's just not a lot of information out there about carnivorous plants, and because of that, you're forced as a new grower to ask them these questions that somebody that's a tenured or seasoned grower might know the answer to. And unfortunately, and this certainly isn't for every group, but unfortunately for a lot of groups, there's been a lot of negativity that comes out, a lot of arrogance, if you will. And I'm certainly not downplaying or talking bad about every group, just in my experiences, they haven't been great. Today, I want to talk about what that channel is, or what that group is that I created, and tell you a little bit about that, and tell you a little bit of the reasons why I created that and my experiences with it. All that and more coming your way. See you in a minute. When I first started collecting carnivorous plants, it was all pretty much by accident. I was at a little downtown city flea market thing, and there was this person there that was selling plants, and off in the corner in the little nook, they had some carnivorous plants. It was a Sarracenia, a Drosera, and some Nepenthes. At the time, I didn't know what they were or what they did. I had a pretty good inclination just by seeing them in passing, but that was the start of what would be a huge journey. I bought a Sarracenia, a Drosera, and a Nepenthes, and quickly fell in love. Now, that story may seem like it was just years and years and years ago, but it wasn't. It was actually only about 3 years ago. So I am still very new to this process compared to some of these growers that have been growing them half of their life, 20 years, maybe more. But what I've learned along the way has taught me a lot. So I got into carnivorous plants because they are cool, right? Here's a plant that has thrown the food chain on its head, and it is eating animals, insects, and that is so very fascinating to me. And so I treated it like an oddity at first, and that's why I started collecting them. But what I didn't expect is how charismatic the plants were, and how much they would draw me in, and how quickly they would do that. And so I very quickly became in love with these plants. And what I started to realize is there's not a lot of information out there, one, and then two, a lot of these plants are critically endangered or getting close to being endangered, and I felt like I had to do something. And so that thing that I wanted to do was to grow these plants, love these plants, but then also share that love with other people and help them grow. But before I could get there, I decided to go ahead and see if I could find some information out there. And so I tried Google, and there's plenty of information there, but I got kind of lost in the weeds and wasn't sure exactly where to start. So I did use some YouTube channels, and that provided some good feedback here and there. But I reached out to some of the channel owners were gracious, and I've made a lot of friends along the way, and I'm going to talk about that. But some of them I could not get responses on, and I'm not going to say that was intentional or not. I don't know what their motivation was, and maybe they're just really busy, and that's okay. But I wanted to provide a platform and an outlet where people could, in almost real time, as much as I can, be able to ask those questions and get an answer without fear of judgment. Which brings me to my next point, and that is I started looking outside of Google and YouTube channels for information, and started looking at different carnivorous plant groups. And unfortunately, I feel like my experience is probably very similar to a lot of people's experiences. You don't really know what to ask, and there's a lot of gray areas when it comes to carnivorous plants. And so there's a lot of intimidation there. And so when you finally get up the courage to ask a question, it is often met with sort of this vitriol or a sort of sense of pompousness, whether intentional or not, that really, really pulls you away from that love of the hobby. And what I always tell people is love the hobby, love the plants, forgive the people, right? And so, long story short, I wanted to create something that was different. I wanted to create a new environment, a different environment, an environment where we could grow together. And what I found was what I love just as much as the plants, if not more, is the community and the responsiveness that I've gotten from developing a sort of ecosystem around this willingness to help, asking people to help each other, this sense of community. And what I've seen is that there's a lot of people that have really been able to resonate with this feeling and just wanting a safe place. So this channel so far has been up for just about a year, and it has done fantastic. Thanks to you all so very much for that. We're almost at 3,000 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. And the whole point of that is not about vanity. It's about getting the word out to as many people as possible. And sure, I want this channel to continue to grow. I would love for this to be a full-time job. But right now it is a part-time little hobby that I have, and I get so much satisfaction out of it. I want to talk to you about what I've done in addition to this channel. So I really started diving deep into the carnivorous plant groups because I wanted to help people. So at this stage, we're going to fast forward a little bit. And I have been collecting carnivorous plants for a couple of years. And so I started diving into the carnivorous plant groups. Now, there was two things that I noticed right off the bat that were concerning to me. One, we've already talked about, and that's how people reacted to others. And then two was the amount of misinformation that is out there. And I don't think it's intentional. There's a lot of misinformation that is put out there as fact by fellow carnivorous plant growers, and I sincerely think they mean well, and they may have just been taught the wrong things. And so what I was noticing right off the bat was this is a big, big undertaking. So I'm part of like a dozen, maybe 15 different carnivorous plant groups, and I'm trying my hardest to sort of steer it in the right course. But what I've also done along the way is met a great group of core people that have been absolutely fantastic and also very much want to help. So after working with those other groups and helping out where I can, and just feeling a little overwhelmed and not being an admin and just sort of seeing the amount of negative responses and the amount of misinformation, I decided to start my own group. And we're going to talk about that right now. So the name of the Facebook group is Carnivorous Plant Help for Beginners. Kind of rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? It's not a great title. It doesn't catchy, it's not flashy, but I wanted it that way. I wanted it to be clear-cut what the intention of this channel was. And if you join this channel, the purpose of it, as well as CHM Carnivores, is to provide a safe place like I've talked about, where people can come together as a community and learn from each other, grow with each other, and just provide that love for these plants and love for each other. And I am happy to say that has resonated on the Facebook side very strongly. In 7 months, the channel is up to 6.2 thousand people, and it continues to grow. And again, that is not vanity. That shows me there's just a lot of people out there that are gaining interest in carnivorous plants, and there's a lot of people that want to find a place. I've seen story and testimony over and over again at how they have been pushed away from the carnivorous plant sort of hobby because of the way that people have reacted to their questions. And so one of the staples of not only this channel, but also that group, is that this is a judgment-free zone and where we help each other out. And I am very, very, very stern about that because I experienced that negativity myself, and I don't want others to have it as well. Now, you might have noticed recently that I changed the name of this channel to Carnivorous Plant Help. And that is because I wanted to align those two groups and those two different entities together in an effort to bring awareness to more and more people that there is a place out there that you can come and learn about carnivorous plants, learn about the ups and downs, see the bumps and bruises along the way, find out how to grow these plants at a reasonable price without breaking the bank, and just enjoy it and having fun along the way. Just in this short period of time, I've made a lot of friends, I've made a lot of connections, and just overall, again, like I said, the plants is what got me into the hobby. The community is what keeps me in the hobby. We have been able to build an absolute amazing, amazing community. With that, my ask is this. If you already have subscribed to this channel, thank you so much for your support. I could not be more humbled and thankful for how it's grown just in such a short amount of time. Certainly not required, but if you wouldn't mind, spread the word about this channel, spread the word about what the intent is and what the core value system is. I feel like there's a lot more people out there that are in the same boat that I was, that are in the same boat as maybe you were, and that are just looking for simple answers and can't find them. I still struggle to this day trying to find answers to new carnivorous plants that I'm growing, where I get feedback that's all the way on the left side and then feedback that's all the way on the right. And maybe I just want something that's in the middle, or I'm just looking for clear-cut answers. And I feel like there's nothing more powerful than that sort of social networking and that crowdsourcing of ideas. There's tons of growers out there that don't have sort of this channel interaction here, that have got a wealth of information that they are just dying to be able to give out to people and just don't have a way to do that. But hopefully this channel and that Facebook group will provide that way, and we'll continue to see this group grow. It is my mission to not only save these plants from extinction, pull them back from the endangered list, but also it's my mission to provide as large of a platform as possible, as large of an entity and a community as possible, where people can come and feel safe and be able to grow these plants with fun and excitement and enjoy them for what they are, what they do, what they bring, which is this level of curiosity that is childlike and a sense of wonderment, just how this has come about over 60 million years of evolution. Now, speaking of that, I plan on making a video in the future. I've been super interested in just seeing how these plants came about, and I've learned a lot. And so hopefully I'm going to be able to make a video soon about just how carnivorous plants became carnivorous and why that is. So until then, thank you so much for making this community, and for the other community making it what it is, which is how wonderful, this bright spot in YouTube and Facebook. And I owe that all to you. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. See you soon.